Turn the beat back. Face to the face to the champion.
Peace to the gods.
We have Spiteful Combination, or the Flicker Stance 1 series. We're gonna go over all this in one go, since in Tekken 8 they decided to simplify the move list and add a lot of things to the flavor text. So we're gonna be breaking this one down. This has a wide variety of uses. This string has several ways that it can go. So first of all, let's explain the basics of Flicker 1. Flicker 1 is a series that can be used up to a rapid 3 times, 3 whip-like attacks. The first one being 12 frames and all follow-ups being 15 frames. Just doing Flicker Stance 1 is 12 frames and it's -1 on block. Doing it twice is -4. And doing it 3 times on block is also -4. If you choose not to hold back after this Flicker 1, you will transition into neutral stance, as you can see. But if you do Flicker 1 and hold back, or do any amount of flickers and hold back out of the 1 series, you will remain in Flicker. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to mess with your timing with certain attacks. So if the opponent thinks that you're gonna continue but you actually end, you can do something like Flicker 1 twice and really stagger your ones or your approach so they don't know when to attack. This plays heavily into Steve's delay ability and Steve's general game plan with Peekaboo, and it complements it lovely. Now also from the Flicker 1 series, we have a total of 2 extensions. You do 1 down 1, neutral on block. 1 down 1, neutral on block. If you decide to do all 3 flicker hits, you will no longer be able to do flicker up 1 or flicker 1 forward 1, the extensions, and be -9. Tempest combo. Flicker 1, forward 1. This is a high mid extension where the extension is 15 frames, just like the high extension, so they're actually the same frames, which is surprising me because I thought the high was faster. It's a pretty intensive deep dive. So yes, Flicker 1, forward 1, and 1, forward 1, both being -5 extensions. It's neutral on hit, and on counter hit, cause a face down, feet away, for a guaranteed follow. Flicker 1 down 1, safe on block. On hit, it will make the opponent spin, and it will be +18. They will spin back. So unless you're at the wall, you will not get anything for this. This will wall splat on regular hit. Staggering your timing on Flicker 1 down 1 can wall splat the opponent and net you quite a bit of damage. So you can do something like this. Delay. Just to have a very simple combo. Very good, and you can also do 1 down 1, and as you can see, it wall splats on regular standing hit from quite a generous distance. On counter hit, this move was nerfed from its previous iterations. Power hook combo used to grant a full combo, but now in Tekken 8 this has been changed, probably because Steve got a lot of other tools.
There was a time when we were much more powerful.
But now it will spin the opponent out and cause them to be face up, feet away, and we can run up, get a guaranteed dash albatross down to you, guaranteed 40 damage. You can also mix this up with instant duck 2 if the opponent is deciding to stay there. So you do Flicker 1, lay down 1, instant duck 2, and if they decide to wake up kick because they thought you weren't going to do anything, they'll get smacked. If they decide to lay there, it's good for us, because guess what? I don't need you to stand up to hit you, but you can stay there all you want, because it hits you grounded, then it will flip you over. Something I gotta use more often. We also have the ender of this series, Flicker 1, 2. This is also a high mid series, so we can do a Flicker 1, 2, We can do flicker 1, 1, 2, and we can do flicker 1, 1, 1, 2. So if we do the whole flicker 1, 1, 1 series, the only extender that we can do after the third flicker jab is flicker 2. The flicker 1, 2 series is -12 on block at all strings of the chain. This move was changed in Tekken 8 if you're a veteran Steve player coming from previous iterations of Tekken. You may notice this actually used to end in the fly swatter, flicker 2. So this used to be flicker 1, 1, 1, 2. Didn't used to be an uppercut. It used to be a swat down. The opponent would actually be in this scenario, face down, feet away. So now that we got it as an uppercut, it's a lot safer because I think before it was like -14 if you did it, but now it's -12, a lot safer. But still, you hardly want to be using this unless you're using it to combo the opponent. Like so, we can do something like this and get a tornado, or you can use it as an ender, like so. It'll knock them a decent distance back for a very nice wall spike. Oh man, here's another one. I was about to skip over the best part about the Flicker 1 series. Flicker 1, at any point in the series, at the Flicker 1, Flicker 1, 1, or Flicker 1, 1, 1, if we hold the back button and then we press 3+4, we can gain access to quick spin or our albatross spin transition. This is huger than a lot of Steve players think. Let me tell you what. Because we can do this at any point in the series, if you go back and watch our albatross video, you'll remember that I said Steve's turn punch or Steve's albatross 2 is very good. One, because it's a heat engager and it's safe. It's a mid-safe heat engager that is only -3 on block. And we can use our Flicker 1 as sort of like a guided missile, just like Thomas Hearns uses it to land that albatross 2. So Thomas Hearns would use the flicker jab to obfuscate his loaded right punch, but instead of using the loaded right punch, we can use it and load up a turn punch and catch an opponent ducking either at the wall or in neutral ground. I've caught both, and land a heat engager if we're not in heat, a heat dash if we are in heat, leading to a safe combo or a wall splat. This move is incredible. This is probably our most useful move out of Flicker stance, for the sake that if you're an awakened Steve, you can instantly transition into this. We're gonna go over that in our advanced how to awaken Steve video, is instantly transitioning into Flicker 1 and then using it as a guided missile to do your albatross spin 2. Now, once you have your opponent conditioned for that, that's just layer 1 of the mix-up. Once they're conditioned to take this albatross spin 2, because you've been setting it up so well with Flicker 1, that's where all the fun happens. If your opponent starts blocking this and you notice your opponent's not getting hit with that heat engager / heat dash, we can do spin into neutral. Not a lot of Steves use this. +17 spin. We're spending a lot of those frames spinning. It says we're +17, so if your opponent is attacking, you're gonna want to let this rip. So 1, 1, 2, the opponent is set to jab. This is a jab trap. If you got an opponent that's mashing, this is perfect for it. Perfect opportunity to hit him with a heat engager, just like this. And once they stop blocking, that's when the party starts, because then we can do Flicker 1 into spin and get into neutral and start mix-ups. So the timing is this: we do Flicker 1, we're holding back as we do flicker 1, and then we hold 3+4. I heard a lot of Steve players have trouble with this transition here, so I'm gonna take this section of the video to explain it. So flicker stance 1, if you hold back and do flicker stance 1, you'll go back into flicker like I said. But if you do this and hold back, it primes Steve, where if you press 3+4 and you're bringing your hand back from a flicker, you're at a state where you can do albatross spin. Because if you're in regular flicker stance, you cannot do albatross spin until you do flicker 1. Once they are not blocking, we can go into flicker 1 back foot stomp. I would advise doing moves that crush. Like you can do foot stomp, armor, albatross down when you get a quick low in there. That's another thing. This move is so useful. So we have a mid mix-up for catching opponents that's attacking or ducking, and then if they're just standing there like this, we can start to break them and be +1 with like a 1 back 3+4 down 2, like a 1 back 1 with the timing stagger, like a 1 albatross double spin. This move has so many branches that you can go with. Use this a lot. Use flicker 1 a lot. Flicker 1 into albatross spin is the Gator. Alright, that's something you can use if you're playing small Tekken as well. Well, we can use flicker as a movement tool. We can use the reverse step that's built into flicker to mix up the opponent as well in the neutral. So if we're playing with the opponent like this and we're trying to shimmy step them and doing dash blocks and all that, we can actually use flicker stance as a reverse step in order to load up our rear hand for if the opponent comes in for either a back 2, a poking flicker 1, or fly swatting. This is flicker stance 2. This is one that you'll see a lot of Steves that are high level go into instantly, and that's because of its properties on hit. As you can see, it's a mid from flicker that will put your opponent face down, feet away for good Oki on hit. On block, it is -5. I think it leaves the opponent crouching as well. So anything they respond with is from crouching. Yep, it leaves them crouching on block. So if you use it, they only have the option to respond with a while standing move. That's why this move is so good. This move has 18 to 19 frame startup, and on block it is -5, but it leaves the opponent while standing, so their responses are limited as well as you are safe. It takes us out of flicker stance. On hit, leaves them in a fantastic position for Okizeme with guaranteed follow-ups. We can hit down 1+2 to follow this up, and it's guaranteed. And on counter hit, it is a full combo. You see why Steve uses it so often now, right? This move does chip damage on block as well. So not only is it -5 on block, put the opponent in great Oki on hit and a counter hit launcher, it also chips on block. This move is one of the best moves that we have, period, let alone in flicker stance. If you're an awakened Steve, you will be using this quite frequently from instant flicker stance. This is a pinnacle piece of flicker stance. Next attack, we have the throw. Griffin throw, aka the over-the-shoulder throw. Flicker stance 1+2. This is a 12 frame grab that is broken with 1+2 that will side switch whatever side you're on. The throw does 40 damage, above average throw damage, as regular throws do 35. The opponent will break right in front of you and you'll be at -6. So this does put you at the fringe edge of a potential sidestep, as normally you want 4 to 7 frames free for a sidestep. So at -6, our options are limited. We can go for a dick jab if we think the opponent's gonna respond high. Go for like a low jab. If the throw break, it puts them at range 1 perfectly right after the throw break. We're right in range for a 1-2-1. If the opponent is slow on the uptake, this would be your best best option would be 1-2-1 or a down one. Great throw and a great way to alternate your pressure from flicker. British Lancer, big one. Flicker back 2. This is the loaded back punch from Thomas Hearns that we mentioned. This is the big payoff counter blow from Flicker Stance that takes advantage of Flicker Stance's safe nature and gives us a loaded counter punch that will eat and absorb attacks and plow through the opponent, causing a knockdown situation that provides guaranteed damage. On block, this move is -9. It is safe. Safe armor move that also screws. On hit, this move is a knockdown. Legs up, does not get a combo, but it does get guaranteed damage. We get 40 damage for the forward 2 beatdown follow-up. And we get 38 for the turn punch. This move also screws, like I mentioned. Mid combo like so. Very good at the wall. And that's it. Those are all the moves. Flicker Stance is pretty quick. This stance does not have a whole lot of moves. It has a lot of variation and a lot of branching possibility, which is what Steve's Flicker Stance is all about. So with that, it does bring us to the conclusion of not only our Flicker video, but our stance videos as a whole. We will be doing a revision on Lionheart 2.0. We'll be revisiting that as a patch 105. That is the next stance that we're gonna do. So definitely drop a like and sub in the chat. Steve brethren, we're gonna get the realm up to 100, and then 1,000, and then 100,000 subs. Come join me on the journey of mastering Steve Fox and becoming a top Steve Fox player. That's going to be a journey. Flicker Stance is extremely useful. Flicker Stance in general, if I had to conclude it, is a very strong transition for making a lot of your strings safe. It makes a lot of Steve's best counter hit and delayable strings safe and able to load up on a armored counter hit as a result of that safeness. So you can choose to be safe or choose to take an offensive option, and if the option is mid or high from your opponent, steal your turn back with an armored counter hit. Does a lot of combos with one hand, as the backhand is more or less saved for a strong armored blow or for a mid hammer attack. And Fly Swatter, that is fantastic on hit and should be used at all iterations of play, especially footsies. When you're playing with Steve, Fly Swatter or Flicker 2 is one of our best mids that we have. Conclusion, Flicker is great. You use it quite a bit. You're going to be using it a lot to continue combos. Use it to duck. Get very familiar with the timing of ducking Flicker Stance. So the second that your hand drops, you are able to transition into other stances. So Flicker Stance is also used as kind of an interim stance, if you will. So this is a stance you'll use to go into other stances. This is kind of like our hub world stance. From the Flicker 1 series, we can go into Albatross Spin. From just Flicker, we can go into Sway. We can most importantly go into Duck from Flicker. So we can make a lot of stances very safe, or we can do unpredictable offense from Flicker. We can do Duck, and then of course we can cancel Duck. So we're doing a Flicker cancel into Duck, Duck canceling, ducking stance. So there's 2 cancels that are happening here. So the ability to duck cancel from Flicker will be of great use to you, as you will be able to continue your combos. Flicker Stance is the only way this combo is possible. Because we go into Flicker Stance from down forward 1-2-1, we can duck right after, and we can do while standing 1 to continue this combo. Alright, here's an example of our back 1 combo using Flicker Stance. I'm gonna play it in slow motion for you. That's the advanced wall carry combo. If you're finding the timing tricky, as soon as the attack hits, as soon as you feel confirmation that your hook from the down forward 1-2-1 hit, you can duck instantly and then hold down back to cancel the duck like this. I want to appreciate you all for joining me in this deep dive on Steve's stances. We have an advanced Steve guide coming up where we go into more of the nuances of all of Steve's stances. The next video will be the Lionheart 2.0, but after that we will be diving into an advanced Steve guide where we put everything together and formulate a winning strategy for taking Steve online and winning matches mathematically. So I definitely look forward to going through that with you, Steve brothers. I appreciate you all for watching. Live powerful, invest 10%, and I'll see you in the next video.